Okay, this episode is going to be about stream readers and stream writers. This allows you to read and write to text files or any other file type, including SVG, which is quite common, which stands for comma separated values. But the standard thing you probably want to write to is a text file, just TXT file extension. First, if you want to have the data type imported into the program to be able to access it, you have to put imports system.io. This will allow you to have the data type of stream reader or writer. First, I'm going to make the directory. So dim dir as string. I should have this copied. No, I don't have it copy and pasted. Let me just get this. Is equal to backslash write me. One thing you should know is if there isn't a file here, it will actually create one for you. But there is a file in my case. But if there isn't one, it will create one in this directory. Same with the reader actually, but it will crash because there's nothing to read. But yeah, so one thing you want to be careful of is you don't want to put an extra backslash there. That is incorrect and it won't work. So now I'm going to create the writer. The writer. So I'm going to make a variable called writer as type stream writer. Now if this wasn't there like this, then this won't work because there's no such thing as stream writer. This allows it to be able to see stream writer. So then you need to make a object of stream writer as new stream writer, and this has the one constructor parameter. So this is asking for the directory as a string. So I'm going to put dir in here. So oh yeah, I've put reader here. I meant to put writer. So you could have just put the directory string straight into here instead of dir. Both would work. I'm just showing you a bit of a nicer, neater way. Now I've done this in 2 lines. There is an easier way of doing this. What you can do, there's 2 other ways in fact. I can do this and that will work. The other easier, quicker alternative is dim writer as new stream writer and do the parameter here dir. So yeah, there's 3 different ways of doing it. This is the quickest way. But if you want to make your writer global and then you want to set up which file you want to use later on, and you want to use the first way I've shown you. But if you're doing it all in one line, then this is fine. So one thing you need to do with a stream writer and stream reader, after you've used it, you want to close it. So I'm going to do writer.close. If the program's paused in the state between the opening of the file with the stream writer and the closing, you won't be able to open it with Windows or anything at all. You also want to close it because next time you try and open it, you might have problems trying to open it if you don't close it. Similarly, if you crash the program before it gets to the close statement, you're also going to have problems. Anyway, let's show you how to write. So if I do writer.writeLine, then I can just put text in here. So I'm going to set up 3 lines to write, like so. I'm going to put bananas are cool, like that. So then this should write bananas are cool to the text file when we run it. The window should open and close because we haven't got a read line, but for this demonstration it's okay. So it should open and close like that. And then let's go and look in the file. And bananas are cool, just like that. So now I think I've pretty much covered everything about the stream writer. Well, as much as you need to know to start off with anyway. So let's get on to a stream reader. So stream reader. I should also change this to reader. So just like the stream writer, you do it the same way. I'm just doing it this way. It doesn't really matter. Has stream reader, and this also has a path. I'm going to change this. I've also got a file called readme, so readme in the same directory. So I'm going to pass in dir into the parameters of the constructor. And again, close the reader. Always need to close it. Okay, so what I'm going to say is, if you do reader.readLine, what this will do, it will read the first line. If you call this statement a second time, it will not read the first line, it will read the second line. If you read it when there's not a line there, it might crash. I'm not exactly sure. So what you can do, if you don't know how many lines there are, you do until reader.end of stream. This will keep looping until there is nothing left in the text file. So this is quite a nice little loop to do when you're reading a text file. So then you can just do, let's make an array, I guess, dim r as string. So I haven't declared any boundaries for this array, so I'm just going to do, I have to do a counter as well. Dim I as integer. You should be pretty familiar with counters and stuff like by now. So I'm going to say redim preserve. This is from episode 5 if you're wondering. Redim preserve our position I. So this is just going to allow there to be an ith position, so I will get incremented each loop. So yeah, then we're going to say our position I is equal to reader.readLine. So this is going to read the current line, and each time this statement gets called, the next current line will be the one after that. So that's going to read the text file. Now this, I'm going to want to display it, so I'm going to do a for loop for each item. I'll use an all for loop just because they're more common and you need to get some more practice with that. For I shouldn't use I, j, just because we do it above, is equal to 0 to arrow.length minus 1. It's minus 1 because this gives you the length of the array, not the bounds, and the length is always 1 longer than the bound. Okay, let me just fix that. Won't crash it, it just gets rid of the error message. So then you would say console.writeLine. What is it? Our position j. And then I also want a console.readLine just so the program doesn't close. So this should read it. Hello people of the world. That's what I've previously wrote in the file. And you can see that's worked all fine.